Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Boxing. I'm Leti.
I'm LB.
And let's talk about the fight this weekend that we had. Jesse Bam Rodriguez out of San Antonio,
Our
Texas.
boy, San Antonio, stand up.
Versus Israel Gonzalez, representing Mexico.
Mexico.
Although Bam is Mexican descent as well, so it was like a Mexican on Mexican war going on. And what did you think about it?
Man, I thought that this was it was a back and forth fight, action packed. In our previous video, we talked about Bam and his different styles of fighting. We say that, he has the opportunity, he can either box or he can bang. And it was clear from the very first, from the first round that he came into bang. So, it was exciting to see. Israel Gonzalez, he did have a lot of success in the fight, and he actually looked better than he did when he fought Chocolatito. He definitely looked like he came in more conditioned, and towards the later rounds, he actually looked, he looked sharper than he did versus Chocolatito. So he definitely did some improvements there. And I was excited to see, just Bam being there with the younger fighter and let his hands go, because they was letting their hands go for 12 rounds.
Yes. I thought that Bam was gonna knock Gonzalez out.
Yeah, we both did.
My prediction. I didn't know too much about Israel Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, when he came out from that first round, he had speed. Like you
yes,
said, he had speed. He used his upper body a lot. He moved around the ring a lot, and he kept trying to keep Bam on a distance with that jab.
Yeah.
But of course, Bam, the great fighter that he is, he found his way in.
Yep.
And just was, like you said, they were just going back and forth with it. I did think that Bam landed the more clean punches.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think he did more damage in that fight.
Yeah, and he was more of the aggressor too. So
yeah, the whole fight, even though Gonzalez was just throwing, he was letting go of his hands a lot.
He was.
He wasn't landing all the time, and Bam was using his defense that he's got, blocking a lot of the shots. Mm-hmm. He was still coming forward.
Yeah, he was still coming forward. He was slipping shots in tight.
Yeah.
He was parrying. He was just the aggressor. And in the later rounds, you could tell he was the fresher fighter out of the two. Mm-hmm. And it was just it was good to see Bam do what he does. We saw the pivots, we saw the angles. Yeah. We saw that he got a nice little piston jab too. That jab was working. He got a nice little right hook. Bam, he does what he always does. He put on a show.
Yeah, they did take a point away. Yeah. I think it was on round 8 for hitting below the belt. But I don't know if they were just, throwing hella punches. I seen it from both. I did see Bam hit below a few times, but I seen Gonzalez do the same thing to Bam. Yeah. It just didn't get called out. But regardless of that, Bam still won unanimous. He won a lot of the rounds. So. Yeah. But it was good to see, like you said, go up against a younger fighter and a faster one, too, at that. Yep. Because, even though he was using his pivots and whatnot, it just didn't hit the same as the other fighters that he was fighting.
Yeah, because him being Israel Gonzalez being the younger fighter, he was able to to just react faster. He was able to react a little faster, to his angle. So that was cool to see. Yeah. It made Bam work a little bit more.
But I think it was good for him.
Oh yeah, it was good for him. And I think after this fight, he definitely wanted to put on a show, and you could tell he wanted to get the knockout.
On the big Canelo stage.
Yeah, on the big Canelo stage. But I think this was good for him. So he can definitely take a lot from this, because he hasn't really went the distance. He's been knocking people out. Yeah. Every time he's been knocking people out. So I thought this was good for him to go ahead and get his rounds. And I think that we need to also remember that, he did move up 2 weight classes. Right. So Israel Gonzalez, he did take his punches. Well, he wasn't able. Ben wasn't able to get him out of there, but I think it's important that we remember this isn't even his weight class, and for him to have this success, and for him to, he was walking down the bigger guy.
Non-stop.
There was a clear difference in size if you looked at him. Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's important that we remember, that he jumped 2 weight classes, because that's a good performance, and against a good fighter, and and I just can't wait to see who's gonna fight next.
Well, who do you think?
So I would love, especially now, they've shared the same opponents with each other. I really want to see that Chocolatito fight. And even Chocolatito spoke about it and saying it would be great. He said something along the lines, it would be great for us to fight, You know, and I think that would be good. You know, similar opponents. And then I feel like it would be an action-packed fight because Chocolatito, you know, he's action-packed. Bam, Mr. Put on the show.
Oh yeah.
So I just think that would be an action-packed fight.
That would be. I can't even imagine how that fight will go.
Yeah.
You know, like that shit would be very cool to see.
Yeah. But he did. Yeah, but I was gonna say he did say that, you know, he did want to move down because you know he wants his brother to get those fights too because his brother fights at 115 also. Mm-hmm. So you know, he said he wants to keep some fights for him. So he talked about moving down. And if he's gonna move down, I would love to see him against Sonny Edwards. Mm-hmm. Sonny Edwards out of the UK. He's another boxer. He's kind of slick. Mm-hmm. You know, he doesn't really have all that much power, but man, he can really box his ass off. So
skills.
Yeah. So I would love to see them match up, and I would love to see Bam because, you know, this isn't even his division. Like, he came up 2 divisions, so it's going to be exciting to see how his power is effective, you know, at the lower weight classes.
And he'll be able to take those punches like,
yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know. Like I said, one good punch can just change the whole fight around, you know, for a fighter.
Yeah.
But, I mean, since he's been taking these hard punches from the heavier classes, going back to 112 is just going to be like, okay, you know. But, I mean, whoever he's going to fight next, I'm excited. You know, his career's only taken off. That Chocolatito fight would be amazing to watch. But we know Chocolatito is tied up. He has a fight in December.
Yeah, he got his Strada. They got the trilogy
coming up. So I don't know. You think maybe after? I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen. Wait, do you think it actually happen?
I think that, you know, DAZN really wants that fight. You know, and he fights on DAZN. I mean, DAZN has been talking about that fight, you know, since his, you know, Bam's previous 2 fights. They always talking about the Chocolatito fight. But I just think that he wants to, you know, say he would love it, but he just wants his brother to get, you know, the shine that he's been getting, you know.
Yeah, I see that, but I just don't want the opportunity to.
I know. That's why I want it.
But I mean, his brother can fight Estrada, you know, and he can fight Chocolatito.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he could. That's what I think. That's what I think should happen. But we just gonna have to. Yeah. We just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, like you said, we always tuning in.
Of course.
To Mr. Put on a show. Bam Rodriguez. But yeah, we just gonna have to wait and see who he ends up matched up against. Yep. But that's all we got. So thanks for tuning in, y'all.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Or talk your shit. And we out.